Hello and welcome back to the third and final qualifying. I am joined by TSR Miles. I need to call you Mills there. The one name he does hate, but we have some little bit of teasers right now, don't we?
Yeah, there were some guys who weren't supposed to join who joined. There were three of the Brazilian guys in the lobby. Now there are only two. They switched to the Alfa Romeo, and we are good to go, I guess. When everybody readies up, very packed grid once again. 16 drivers out there, and some very fast guys. Yeah,
Well,
once
I
again.
was going to mention about, of course, we didn't mention of the average because, as we said at the very start and as in the trailers, it will be the average taken from both drivers will determine whether the team will proceed forwards. Now, you have the session one top two teams. What are they?
Top two teams. Yeah, let me quickly have that on. So for the first lobby, it's FCT, obviously, who were the fastest guys on aggregate with a 24.2. Janusz, which is apparently one of the ERL teams. Very close behind SRT, very close behind VRT, very close behind. So I could go on with that like forever. And the second lobby, I don't know if you have that on your screen right now.
I do have that on my screen. Again, another very close top three, all under 123s. BRL taking the top, BMG taking second with a 123.9. Of course, BRL the 123.8. And then the Shazoo team, 123.9. So quite a close, packed match. As I said, I could go on as the timings were very close. But there's still one more lobby to upset everybody. And that is the third and final lobby. There are still quite a few names. There's one I actually recognise I have raced against, and that's Jonas also in that lobby. I know there's a lot of people shouting for Loki. I saw the spam for the fire in chat. I do appreciate the support, and sorry to be a spoil sport.
Yeah, actually, those guys are all around when Loki or someone else from their group of friends is racing. So shout out to them because I know them fairly well. Maurice just posted in the chat. In Germany, we say "Ich bin angespannt," which is, of course, I'm very excited to get into racing, because also Maurice is part of SRT, but we'll get into that in just a few seconds time, because they are readying up right now as we speak. And it's Britain once again, of course, for those guys who are
We're gonna change it? Let's give it to Britain. Britain, the best country ever. Maybe open to opinions there.
Yeah, totally non-biased comment from you there. And we are in the lobby, and we are in the lobby, also on your screen as you just changed it.
Yep.
So we have once again 16 drivers, and I mean, you don't know many of those guys, and
No.
For me, I'm really surprised to not see Thibaut in there. It's Era Luca and Era Dr. Veda. Thibaut, like I mentioned before, one of the guys who is the fastest, probably. And if I'm wrong, Ben will just throw something at me if I'm wrong.
Throw it all the way from the UK. All the way from the UK to Germany.
Yeah, because he is the fastest guy in ERL, and I guess that's a bit disappointing for me, disappointing for everyone watching, not having Thibaut in this lobby. But of course, all the other guys are very fast too. So and they are currently coming out of the pits, and I guess who's the first guy? It's Maurice. Has the TSR tech in front of him. Surprise, I know him fairly well, of course. He races in TSR, very fast guy. He's joined in the Racing Point by Portly Boot 60, who was a last-minute replacement for the SRT team. Like I said before, fairly new team to the Xbox, but they want to, prove why they deserve to be here. And yeah, go on.
The question I'm going to ask, like, of course, I am still fairly new to this community. As I've said before, I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to enter this community. What is the difference between like the PC and Xbox then?
The difference. I guess you should have you should ask someone who apparently uses both. There is no real difference. I mean, it's basically the same game. It's basically it's just the PC version isn't that glitched and bugged like the Xbox One was up until I don't know what happened with the patch yesterday. Maybe it's getting a bit better right now, but in the end it's the same game.
Jacket what is on the flying lap. He's actually in front at the moment. He is the person leading this train. I think Marusi dropped back, try and find his teammate somewhere. But actually, is he in front? Yes, he is, because the Mercedes is on an outlap. Talk me through this, or talk us through this.
Yeah, like we saw on the introduction, time trial lap there. Coming into the Lafayette section, which apparently was the last turn, or which used to be the last turn back in the days, coming onto the old main straight, old pit straight, and now coming through Cops, which he manages very, very nicely, stays within the white lines, which is very important. Coming onto Maggots Packets and Chapel, of course, which he does fairly nicely, runs a bit wide bit onto the grass, but yet just ever so slightly on the grass there, coming down the hanger straight. Now into Stowe, which you can't extend anymore, which you were able to do on F1 2019. Now into the club section, braking on the apex there. Very, very tidy line for Jack RT there, and coming up to line goes, of course, fastest with a 24.3, and Maurice with a 24.8, so not improving there. Jonas coming up to the line, going with a 24.0, which is a very, very good banker lap. For him there.
Really decent time to start with. Jonas coming in with a 124 dead as well, as I'm trying to find slowly somebody's on the valid lap, and I've got on there T10's Shadow,
which apparently is, of course, Shazoo Shadow, so also representing Shazoo here. Just problems with his Shazoo account, where I think he isn't able to apply the wheel correctly, which he is, of course, using. So he's racing for Shazoo, of course, and that's big interest for you.
Yep.
Coming to Cops also very nicely, and now into Maggots Packets and Chapel. Has actually his teammate up in front of him, which is Crescito, the French guy, and very, very good teamwork from both of these guys, and very, very good slipstream there for Shadow, who might be the one setting the fastest time for the first run there. Crescito peeled into the pits, so Shadow's on his own, and it isn't the fastest time. He splits both of the XRT guys, Jack RT and Sparks. I hope I didn't mess that up, but it is. XRT Esports Black are Sparks and Jack RT, and XRT Esports Orange are Loki and XR Ablet. So two XRT teams within this lobby. Which is also very interesting. So, Hyper, we have two guys on an outlap right now. I mean, Shadow and who is it? Vader might have finished. Oh no, Vader's going on.
We're currently watching Vader right now. While you were talking about those guys, he's been doing fairly well. He's kept it clean, kept it tidy. Not on board, of course. We're getting a nice televised view of it. We'll change it on board for you now as he goes back on the old straight, which I still feel has got some history behind it, and just feels nice as we go through. The names have gone up my head. I tried with these corners. Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, still fairly clean, using quite a lot of that curb and possibly cutting a bit of his time. That's a decent sector. A 101 there, coming down the it's the Wellington Straight if I'm correct, through Stowe, keeping it tidy, using as much curb as he can, but not enough to exceed through the last 3 corners. Keeping it tidy here. He's got an opportunity. 121, 22, 23. It's going to be a 124.4, putting him in 7th place.
Yeah, next one going on to a flying lap will be Logic, currently sitting in P16 without having set a lap time yet. Starting his lap right now, and I assume that he will get a lot of slipstream from Jonas there. Also very, very fast guys, rocking that Ferrari with the old Michael Schumacher helmet, which is of course something as a German you like to see, of course. Yeah, coming down the Wellington Straight, braking very, very nicely there. Now into Luffy, going a bit wide, short shifting into 2nd, very, very shortly up to 4th, and now onto, like you said, the old pit straight, which is, which of course has that special feeling around it. Has a lot of traffic in front of him to negotiate, and that actually is Jonas, who will give him slipstream, I guess, but that didn't work very, very well.
Very poor timing on Jonas, basically disrupting Logic's brilliant run, because that had potential there to be a quite fast lap, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely has. I mean, we rode on board with him throughout the lap, and that was a pretty solid lap.
Shall we give them what the fans want? There's Loki on screen right now, coming in. Decent lap time in that 2nd sector, 101. Coming in quite fast, coming into Stowe. A little dabs on the brakes to take this corner. You don't need too much. Head back down, flat out. Come into the last couple of corners. Keep this neat. Locks up the front left, but it's keeping it tidy. Kept the car on track. 121, 122, 123. It's going to be a 124.6, and that will put him in 9th place.
Which is a fairly solid result for him, 24.6, beating his teammate for the time being, who I'm sure will try to even improve his time. I don't really see someone who's on a flying lap.
I think the Renaults are.
The Renaults are. So Sparks might be the next one, setting a lap time. Yeah, he will. And shortly followed by, I guess it should be Crescito.
The big lockup for Sparks as he comes into that corner. It's a very common corner to lock up on, but that's going to be dipping into the 123 as he pulls off a 123.8. That's probably one of the fastest times, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's the 2nd fastest time as Jakey B puts his Red Bull into P2. One of the guys who's here for BDG, Brutal Democracy, which are also fairly new to the Xbox side, but they have made themselves a name somewhere on the internet. I don't really know much about them, but they are fairly big on Twitter, so they also are ones to watch. Of course, JKB we've known from ERC last season out, where he picked up several podium finishes, and will be one to watch as well.
Currently on board Luca, he's got a nice clean lap so far. Oh, he's just invalidated it. He went a bit too much on that little gap where from the start finish straight where you can just cut the corner slightly.
Oh, a shadow. Was behind Crescito. Crescito had to move out the way for Logic, who's currently on an outlap. And Shadow just said, well, screw that, I just get the slipstream off of Logic, which he did, and I'm fairly sure that he will improve on his time. Oh, going a bit wide there, but coming up to the line goes fourth fastest, and yet just slightly, beats his teammate there.
That's putting both of the Shazoo members up into 4th, 5th. So that's giving them quite a good average, actually. Because remember, this is all about averages, not necessarily where they finish. Well, it kind of does a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for Pride, you want to finish ahead of your teammate today. As I think only Dr. Vader and Logic are on a flying lap right now because Shadow finished his lap. Dr. Vader invalidated his, so Logic is the only guy on a flying lap right now. Has Jonas once again in front of him. So I really hope that he doesn't screw up once again. I saw some comments in the chat where they said Ferrari strategy, which, yeah, to be fair, is a thing. But now Logic Jonas did a very solid job there, and Logic will do as well, it seems. So coming up to Doe there, not hitting the apex, but that's just didn't help his time, but I think that will be still a very solid lap from Logic there with a 24.1, which he definitely wants to improve on, but I'm not quite sure if he will have time for it.
There's only one driver left that has not put in a time, and that is Portley Boot. He is currently coming onto the old start-finish straight. It seems like we've got a common theme here. Every time I like to change camera, it's on the start-finish straight. Going through cops, and we're gonna head into Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. I am learning. I feel proud of myself. And he's keeping that fairly clean, not getting too close to the apex of Chapel, but keeps it very tidy instead. A 101.9 is a little slow through that second sector into the heavy braking. Well, not that heavy, little dab of the brake for the Stowe. Seems pretty clean so far, but where will he position himself?
Yeah, for his team, I really hope that he will be, up the front, but he isn't. 25.3. Maurice coming up to the line, going 11 fastest with 24.5, which is pretty solid lap from him. Yet two guys, Hyper, we haven't even talked about, are the FXBR guys, who is another Brazilian team. I mean, we saw Sira and Peroni just before in the other lobby. But Fitzy and Davidson are two other guys, as Fitzy has invalidated his time coming into Stowe. There are two other guys who are, seem to be quite fast and are Brazilian.
It might be a setup for David C. I think it's David C. Because as you saw, Vitz did invalidate his lap. He slowed right down, and of course, David's is behind him. We're going to stay on board with David, see what lap he can pull out.
Yeah, surely. We'll get the slipstream on the Wellington straight there. I think they should focus on improving both. Oh, that didn't work out. That didn't work out at all. Vitzy had to pull over just earlier. I mean, the slipstream was good, but the move for Davidson, who had to go up the inside basically on his mate there, wasn't the best thing he could do, and that definitely didn't help his lap time there. Many guys into the pits. 2 minutes to go on our time, as Davidson just completely messed up Chapel there.
We are now looking at Shadow. Shadow putting in another flying lap. As we said, he's quite a big name. He's put in a decent time, but this lobby's not put themselves under that 123 bracket. Only Sparks has been able to put himself under that 123.
Yeah, certainly so. So I guess they just saved that for the last set of tires, and maybe there will be. I see Shadow being able to improve his lap time to. I mean, it's fairly close. 4 or 5 of those guys, actually very close to dipping into the 23s, and Shadow is currently on a very good lap there. We have to remember he had a little of slipstream last time out from Logic there. Coming down the hanger straight, he's 1/10 up on his previous time, so let's wait and see as Jackie B moves out the way very nicely there. Shadow coming up to the line. Where will he put his Mercedes in? It's a 23. It's a 23.864. So, yeah, doesn't beat Sparks there, but puts himself in a very good position as Davidson left the session.
Bit of a low position to leave the session. It's a bit of an odd thing to do, as the drivers will start to now come out. It's the last couple of minutes left, as I will try and catch as many of these drivers as we can. Who is on a flying lap?
Logic just went on his. Sparks also on another flying lap.
Vitz on a flying lap will not improve on his time. I don't think that was his flying lap. He was 4 seconds behind, so this is his flying lap for him.
Very interesting to see that. Who was it? Was it Ablet? Yeah, it was Ablet who just gave slipstream to Sparks on the Wellington straight, and they are not teammates. But remember what I said before. They are from the same team, so they're all XRT guys, and they give each other slipstream on this occasion there. Maybe trying to improve, and apparently Jack RT putting in another 23.9. So also very good lap from him, as Sparks gets another set of slipstream there, coming down the hanging straight from Jack RT, and that will definitely help improve their lap times. Shadow retired from the session. Jonas did retire from the session. He, I guess, just helped Logic get a little bit of slipstream there, and Sparks dips into the 23.6s.
That's a big. That's how you do it. And his teammate currently in 3rd place as well. So a very brilliant time from them.
Crisito still going at it. Logic peeled into the pits. Maurice just started his lap, and Portly Boots seems to be the next one coming up to the line. Only in Megan's Package Chapel right now in this very lovely sequence of corners.
Christo also coming up to the same section as well.
Yeah, just behind him. Let's wait and see if Portly Boot can improve on his lap time, and if Crisito can dip into the 23s, which I'm sure he would be able to.
Portly Boots coming across the line now. Has he made a difference? No, he hasn't. We're going to quickly head over to...
Crisito just improved his lap time and went, apparently, into the 23s. So both of the Shizou guys and both of the XRT guys went into the 23s, which with a lot of help of Slipstream. Maurice improves his time to a 24.3, I think it was.
That was a pretty decent run in that lobby. As we could see on the screen, Sparks putting in the time you said drivers are capable of doing, that 23.6, 0.2 of a second faster than the Shizou racer Shadow at 23.8, followed by Jax with a 21 minute 23.9, and then Critsto coming in with a 123.9 as well.
Yeah, very good times from them. A bit disappointing from both of the VSR guys, who appear to be much faster. Also ERL only in 9th and 11th. I think, yeah, they could have improved on their times, but all in all, we've seen the fastest lap in this session from Sparks, with a very impressive time. But we have to remember he had slipstream on both of the straights, which is very, very crucial for your lap time around here.
Yes, indeed. So we're not going to give the results right away. Stay tuned on the Twitter of at Team Shazoo, and the results will be given there. So to not keep you hanging around on stream. Thank you all very much for watching. Miles, do you have anything to say before we close this off?
It was a big, big pleasure to be here. Yeah, stay tuned on Twitter, like Hyper just mentioned, and yeah, we'll hope to catch you. Yeah, when the official season starts.
Thank you all so much. Hopefully, I think it's a week, isn't it, to the next season? The season starts.
Yeah, I guess so.
So stay tuned till then. Keep update on Twitter. We'll keep you noted, and enjoy your day.
And get well soon, Ben.